Welcome back to part 3 of the channeling session. Divine Masculine quits addictions as he comes closer to the union. And in this part, I would be talking about the lifestyle that a person in twin flame ascension journey should have, because this type of lifestyle will attract the union. And when I say union, I mean a stable union with the source, which will mirror a stable union between the divine masculine and divine feminine, where they are mostly focused on the mission work on planet Earth. So divine feminine has a mission work, and the divine masculine is the team player, the team member, or the person who is supposed to be her support system. Now I will be sharing a disclaimer. The disclaimer for this channeling session is that a lot of people who are only concerned in knowing what the divine masculine is thinking about them, what is the future like, what are the future predictions, and always constantly not being present in the present moment, always being very pining for the divine masculine, always being very anxious, always putting that person on a pedestal. All of these things are going to take you in the opposite direction of the ascension journey. And this channeling is important because this channeling mostly talks about what you have to do for your own self. It's very important to start loving yourself. It's very important to keep yourself as number one priority, because on your shoulders, you will be given a responsibility for the mission work. So you are special in a way because you have been chosen to do very important work on planet Earth. Now, a lot of you probably don't understand that. As of now, don't understand, but you will understand it gradually, and some of you already have an inkling towards it, that when you start loving yourself for real, not what the DIY videos say, or not what people are saying like self-help books or this and that. For real, when you start loving yourself, then you become a very independent person, a very independent woman. And I don't say becoming independent means that you don't take help from anyone, or you don't have a team to work with you, or you are completely always in a cave because you don't have any emotions or feelings. That's not what it is. You are a human being, and being human is actually the most important thing. You can't be God or goddess, or you can't be get into the nirvanic state until and unless you understand your human qualities. Human qualities means the real human qualities, not the things that you see in the media. The real human quality, a real human being, is the human being who is here to serve other people. And serve in a sense that always remembering that he or she is the servant of divine grace, of Supreme Being. They are here to do what Supreme Being wants them to do. Alright? And the divine masculine and the divine feminine, the love they share between each other, it's very pure form of love. It's very unconditional love. It's a type of love which is not seen in the materialistic world, at least, because in the materialistic world, most people in the samsara, in the worldly world, most people who are with one another, they are with one another because they are getting something in return. So when you become a true giver, you want to give to the community, you want to give to humanity, you want to give to nature, Mother Nature, Prakriti. Prakriti in English is nature. So when you become the Prakriti, when you start following the laws of the universe, then your divine masculine will also mirror his mission, because his mission is to be your support. That is his true mission on this planet. And inner work is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice. A lot of people think that inner work means you should go to a mountain top for say 10 days, 20 days. You should start meditating. You should have green tea, and you should wear certain type of pajamas. You should be doing yoga on the yoga mat and blah, blah, blah. You should be talking in a very, very spiritualistic manner. There is a typical way some people do it. So it's like becoming ultra spiritual. There is one guy who makes very funny videos on this ultra spirituality. So that is like fake spirituality. That is something that everyone is doing. They're copying one another. They go to a place, they see someone doing something very spiritual, living a spiritualistic lifestyle, and they start following it. Now in the twin flame journey is not a typical spiritualistic lifestyle, because it's a very real lifestyle where you actually experience everything that is being written or talked about in the books. Okay, and those of you who are in the advanced stages, or those of you who have crossed, even if you have crossed runner chaser dynamic and you have reached a peaceful point where you have stopped chasing the divine masculine and you have started thinking that I will not chase anyone, not just the divine masculine, but anyone. I will not chase anyone. I will just focus on my personal growth. When you reach to that point, that means you have stepped into the final stages of twin flame journey. Other things that will follow is to surrender, is to have faith, is to let go and let God. Then there will be other stages which I've already mentioned. So you get into a lifestyle where you make certain choices which are based on your authentic nature as a human being, as a soul. You start understanding that you are a soul. So all the decisions that you will make from now onward, it would be to make sure, to know that when you die or when you leave this planet, then you have collected good karma with you. You have done good deeds for others. As much as good you can do for others, you want to do that. And you understand that this life is temporary, but the soul is permanent. And therefore the love also is permanent. One love is permanent. Connection with source is permanent. You cannot take anything materialistic from here, by the way. I hope you all remember. And I will say this wherever required and wherever possible. Never forget this thing. Always have this thing in your mind that I cannot take anything from here. I cannot take anything materialistic. All matter will stay back, including your whole body. Okay, that's why people, they are born naked and they are buried naked or burnt naked, because they cannot take anything from here. What can you take with you? Only your soul goes. That's it. So just imagine all the people who waste their whole life in running after materialistic pleasures, bodily pleasures, the matter, the material. What happens to them when they die? What happens to them? Many lives. They keep living. It's like a loop for them. Like some people who are stuck in the runner-chaser dynamic, like a loop. It never ends for them. The runner-chaser dynamic goes on, and especially in false twin relationship, it's like a, it's so annoying. It can get so frustrating because the runner-chaser loop never ends in a false twin relationship. So when Buddha used to train his monks, and food is very important, guys. Now, if you are here on part 3, you have already heard part 1 and part 2. So you already know how important food is in this journey. What you put in your body is very important. But Buddha had a rule for all his monks. Now, this is the story that I'm sharing with you. So when he used to send the monks for food collection, he used to say to them that, oh monks, go to the woods, go to the forest to get food. But make sure that you don't pluck any fruit from the tree or you don't kill any being. And also all the monks, they used to carry a begging bowl. Like monks are not beggars. There's a big difference in a beggar and in a monk. But there was a culture in India where monks used to go from one door to another asking for food. And they were not supposed to repeat the same house every day, because the monks used to also get a lot of respect. So when the monk or the bhikshuk used to come to, bhikshuk is a Hindi word again, when the bhikshuk or Sanskrit word I would say, people used to, give food to them very happily. If they have made something nice, a special dish or something, they would also offer that. So in the monk's begging bowl, anything could come. Any food item could come, including if someone has made non-vegetarian food, including that. And because monks don't eat for taste, they don't have any choice. And that's why there is a rule for them that they cannot repeat the same house every day. And Buddha himself never used to go to the same house the next day. He would never do that. He would keep changing the house because people would be so welcoming and so happy if he would, go to their house for food with a begging bowl. So some people used to also put meat in his begging bowl, like if they would eat meat, because he doesn't plan where to go. He would go anywhere. So he would not see who is a vegetarian, who is a vegan, who is a non-vegetarian. He would not see all of that. He would just simply go. And whatever would come in his begging bowl, he would eat that. Even if they gave him poisonous food, he will eat that. He won't say no to it. That was the level of surrender they had done, the monks had done. And Buddha was the king of all monks, I would say. So then people asked him this question, like, how can you being a monk eat meat? Or how can you being a monk do this or do that? So he would say that when we go to search for food on our own, like when we have to, there are days when we live in the forest or we go to these areas, then we look for the food in the forest areas or in the nature. At that time also, we never pluck any fruit because it's not fallen from the tree. Anything that is fallen in the process of life, the fruit also has a life process. So when the fruit is fully ripened, be it a mango or be it any other fruit, it will fall down. And earlier, in those days, there used to be many forests. In fact, in India, it was a culture. People used to grow many fruit trees. Or everywhere you would see fruit trees, everywhere. So, especially in the mountain areas, hilly areas, even now if you go, you will see that there are many fruit trees on the sidewalks, on the roads. So, that time food really was not a problem, but the choice of food was a thing they used to be careful about. So if they had gone to the forest and they find anything fallen or dead by its own course of nature, they would pick that. So if they find a old deer who's dead, or a deer that has been killed by the tiger or the lion, but the lion did not eat the deer, or the lion just took his share and he was probably hungry from before, or whatever, for whatever reason he has not taken away the body. That also the monks would bring, because that is also dead food which they did not kill, but it's died because of nature, because of the procedure that the nature follows. This was a specific system that they had created for the monks. Okay. Now for the householders, there were many people who were householders who used to also practice. For the householders, you obviously have to earn your own living. The rule was not to eat meat and not to drink alcohol, because these two things really lower down the frequency of any soul. And if you will notice also that when people drink alcohol, they show a very different side of their personality. And they always, next day, they always regretted when they do something, then they cross the line, they do something strange. They always regret and they say sorry, and they always put the blame on the alcohol. But it's not like putting the blame on the alcohol is completely wrong. Because no matter who it is, they always show a different side of their personality. And people who drink a lot, they also become bipolar, because there are two separate zones that they live in. After drinking, there's something else. Before drinking, they could be completely quiet, silent, timid, not saying anything. But after drinking, they would, go on becoming the most, talkative person in the room. What meditation does is, meditation also brings out personalities in people, but it's in balance. So balance is what we require, so that in different situations, we reflect a different side of us, which is required in that particular context. So when you eat food with the thought that it's just being given to you as food, and you're not eating for taste, but rather you're eating whatever the nature has offered you, automatically the food becomes very different. So, and now scientifically so this was the story of Buddha. What Buddha used to say for householders, he would totally say no to alcohol. Alcohol was a complete no. Even now, if you go to do a Vipassana course, you will see that alcohol is a big no-no. In many cultures and traditions, alcohol is a big no-no, because they say this is quite proven actually, that alcohol is not good for your mental growth. I had met one guy. He was a writer. He is a writer, and he otherwise is a school teacher, and he is writing very big research on cannabis. So I asked him this question, like, why would you say yes to cannabis, and you spent 25 years researching about cannabis for your upcoming book? Like, what is wrong with alcohol? Both of them, people enjoy it, and both of them make you high. He said, no, alcohol alters your mind in a very negative way. Whereas cannabis, it's a herbal thing. It does not do that. It, in fact, calms your mind. And people who drink alcohol, they are the people who always create scenes. They are the people who always eventually get involved in criminal problems where they can, murder someone, they can kill someone, they can harm other people. But when you smoke something like cannabis, or you consume cannabis, you will be so absorbed into your own self. Max to max, what will happen to you is you will get stoned and you will not do much movement. You will go off to sleep. But in alcohol, it's the opposite. People start running around. They start making noise. They will start crying. They will start fighting. They will do all sorts of crazy things when they get drunk. So, but the corporations have always promoted alcohol and even made a lot of money, a lot of tax via alcohol and nicotine, of course. So then, coming to Buddha's rule, he made it very clear for people what to eat, what not to eat. Only the monks. So many people have this question. Even when I was in this place called McLeodganj. McLeodganj is again one of the mountain areas. I spent good amount of time there. I was there twice for Vipassana. So once for Vipassana and once I was there for my father's medical treatment. So I had gone to get some Tibetan medicines actually. So I saw there were some monks who were eating meat, and I was very shocked to see that. And that's when I actually decided to do this research, like why are these people eating meat if they are monks. So this is how I found out about this concept that monks, they just beg for food, and whatever is given to them without any questions, they eat it. So that is for the monks, and for the householders, there's a clear rule for this. Now, this scientifically what's good and bad for the body is also very interesting, and I must share this in this particular channeling. Otherwise, this channeling would be incomplete. So the food that is far away from human DNA is the right type of food that we should eat. And anything that is close to the human DNA, that's not good for us. That we should never eat, because it will never benefit us. On the contrary, we will take on to the emotions of that particular food that we just consumed. Plant kingdom is not only opposite of our DNA, but their structure and how they're created, how they are in the scheme of things, they're completely opposite of humans. Like when you have a being that has 2 eyes, legs, same sensory perceptions, a heart, emotions, compassion, then you should definitely never even think of consuming them. And very well-developed animals like cows. Cows have a lot of compassion. Horses, cows, and pigs are also very smart, by the way. Mentally, they are very smart. So these animals have many of these sensory perceptions that are equal to humans. Plus, they have emotions. So their DNA is close to humans. That's why in Hindu gods and goddesses, you will see that gods and goddesses in Hinduism, they are very fond of animals. In fact, their friends are animals. And half of the gods are animals. Like if you look at Hanuman, Ganesh, Hanuman is a complete animal, Lord Hanuman, then Ganesha. Then all the other gods and goddesses, they are always surrounded with animals. Their vehicles are animals. There's so much love that they have amongst one another. You will never see Shiva without his Nandi Bell. Okay, Bell is the male of the cow. So, basically a bull is called Bell in Hindi. So, Shiva used to always be with the Nandi. Nandi is a bull basically. So, Nandi Bell. Then he would have snake around his neck, and many other animals and creatures used to always be surrounded with Shiva. And Shiva's another name is Pashupatinath. So in Nepal, it is said that Shiva had lived in Nepal for many years in the place which is now called as Pashupatinath temple, and he always lived with many animals. That's why this name Pashupati, which is Lord of Animals, was given to him. And all other goddesses, they are like Lakshmi is with the owl, and Saraswati is with the swan, so on and so forth. You can check and you will be really amazed, really amazed. This is why, I'm a born Hindu. Obviously, I'm born in a Hindu family, but I don't talk about this religion. I don't even like to use the word religion. I don't talk about this lifestyle because I'm born in it and my family taught me to do this and that's why. No, it's because I studied all the religions. I studied all the other cults also. I studied this and this came into me more and more after studying spirituality. When I got more and more spiritual, I realized that my God, Hinduism is literally a treasure. It is a treasure of, how you should live your life. Hindus can tell you. That's why, not Hindus as in the people, because I don't know, I don't think many people are very clear about Hinduism, but those who are aware about this, lifestyle, they would know that Hinduism, the basic pillars are the Vedas, the Upanishads and the Puranas. And anybody who does deep study of these three Vedas, Upanishads and Puranas, they will always be very clear about Hinduism. It's a very peaceful, in fact, it's a religion where you don't need any baptism or any conversion or anything like that. Either you could be a born Hindu or you could just one fine day say, I want to be a Hindu, and you will become a Hindu. That's it. It's as simple as that. So I'm not promoting a religion here because I don't personally believe in religions. But I think that there is a lot we can learn from all religions. It's not like other religious beliefs don't have good things. They also have good things. But if you talk about, from the perspective of medicine, from the perspective of astrology, astronomy. Now, astrology in India is so big that when the world didn't even know the most basic thing as earth is round or flat, the most basic thing is the sun revolving around the earth or the earth is revolving around the sun. When world was in such dark ages in India, from thousands and thousands of years, people have been studying astrology, and when a child is born or a new work is done or a marriage is taking place, they match the horoscopes of those people, and they all know the names of 9 planets. Even the kids know what are the 9 planets and this and that. So how did this information come? This information was taken from Indian subcontinent and it was spread elsewhere, and this was again done by the British colonization, because the British, imagine Ujjain in India is a place which is called Mahakaleshwar. Ujjain is the state, but that point where we have the prime meridian is called Mahakaleshwar, and Mahakaleshwar means the Lord of time and space. So I have been to Ujjain and I have made a couple of vlogs over there, and if you want I can share the links of those vlogs as well. And the real prime meridian of this whole planet is in Ujjain. It's in India. But when the British came to India, they found out about this. They used it as a superiority measure to become superiority on planet Earth. So without even the correct research, without any mathematical calculations, without doing all of that, they proclaimed or they announced that Greenwich is the prime meridian of planet Earth. So these are the stupid things they did, which people are finding out now. In India, even though the British said that Greenwich is the prime meridian, they never changed it in the charts, and still, even now, even till date, Ujjain still continues to be the center of planet Earth. The prime meridian, basically. Prime meridian was also calculated in India, and around 4 BCE or BC, very long back, there was a book called Surya Siddhant. The date is actually, it's very ancient. It could be 2 million years old. It is the first book on astronomy, and it is an Indian book again. It's called Surya Siddhant, which means study of the sun, the principles of the sun. There are different dates for it. Someone says that it was composed and it was revised in 800 CE from an earlier text, which was also called Surya Siddhant. And then, according to some other study, the 11th century Persian scholar and polymath wrote this text, which was Surya Siddhant. And basically, why am I talking about this here in this channeling is because we must know when we are leading a certain type of life, and this applies definitely to the divine feminines, because divine feminines are born intelligent. They are very intuitive. They know that, they can decipher between false and truth. But that obviously would come more clearly when you practice, when you do inner work. If you don't do any inner work, or if you are eating all toxic stuff, all types of wrong things are going into your gut via energy, via mental diet. As I said, that mental diet is very important. So in my channelings, you will notice, and you some of you have noticed it already, that I like to share a positive mental diet which doesn't have so many fears. I mean, there are personal fears that you would have, and you have to face them when you do inner work, and that's how you become a hero actually. But these sacred texts, they all have the information, the genuine information on how a person should live their life. So when there are people in the world don't even know if the sun revolves around the earth or earth revolves around the sun, and they come up with technology like medicines like allopathy, which has so much side effect. All your drugs, they're all allopathy. And in India, and not again, I'm not saying it from a superiority complex, because currently in the current situation, not many people are so aware in India also. Though it is the country of masters, most masters have reincarnated here, and that's why the frequency, the vibration of this country is so high even now, and it will always remain so. But still, because of the British colonization and because of all the media programming, many people in India themselves don't know all of these things that I'm talking about. If you ask them about the prime meridian of the world, they will also say Greenwich. They may not say Ujjain. This is obviously possible when you do a lot of research and inner work, and you travel also, and you have obviously friends like that. So once you start ascending, your company also starts changing, and your mental diet also is a part of your company, because you spend most of your time looking at videos and content, and what you listen to, what you hear, what you read. These things are also your friends, because they give you a mental diet every single day. The content you consume is a part of your mental diet. So it's very important for you to consume the right type of mental diet that can help you and make you more authentic. Sometimes the mental diet can be very, like in the face, very straightforward, but then that's how you will ascend. You cannot ascend if everything is very rosy, very sugary, full of what you call buttering somebody always, blah, blah, blah. Or with some kind of agenda, you talk with agenda. So the divine feminine, now I just want to put this point across, that divine feminine has a lot of control in this journey. Now all of you, when you separate or when you have the runner-chaser dynamic, you become very helpless. You literally, like, I get messages, comments all day long that I feel very helpless. I don't know what to do. And otherwise you have manifested things in life, but when the DM comes, you cannot do anything. It's like he's just not in your control. He's just like running away, coming back, running away, coming back. That's because your own connection with the source is like that. The divine masculine is only just mirroring what you are doing with the source connection. When your inner work is also on and off, your relationship will also be on and off. So inner work is the most important thing. It is the food for your mind. And if you do inner work every day, you will be in very balanced energies. Automatically, you will know very consciously what to eat, how much to eat, what not to eat, what to do, etc., etc. So from the scientific perspective, whatever is close to our DNA, we should not eat that. Now, seafood is not close to our DNA. In fact, it's a completely different type of organisms, because see, life is in everything. Life is in the vegetables also, life is in the fruit also, life is in the plant also, but we still have to consume it for our survival. In fact, we are also consumed by planet Earth eventually. When we die, we also either are burnt or we are buried, so we also give our body back to the Mother Earth. But what you eat, it should not be close to what your DNA construct is like. And most animals are close to it. Now, in the seafood also, okay, you can probably eat some fish or you can eat some other, in some cultures, in fact, seafood is not even considered as non-veg food. But then you have, organisms like the dolphins who are very intelligent. In fact, dolphins are more intelligent than human beings also. So you got to decide wherever you eat, you have to decide like things should be not close to my DNA. That's one basic rule that you should follow. And when you're in the inner journey, you will realize that nature offers us many different kinds of foods. Like there is no dearth of food actually. And you can prepare those delicious meals. Now coming to the vegan and vegetarian debate, because the vegan and vegetarian debate is very important as well. And this is where I would talk about the codependency, or not the codependency is not the right word, the interdependency or the coordination or the collaboration of the animal world and the humans that comes into play, that comes has a very important role in what type of diet should you eat. Should you become a vegan or a vegetarian? And now this discussion I will carry forward in part 4, where I will talk at more length about how to live in sync with animals, how to respect animals, why we should respect animals, and what is the right way of consuming food that the animal world provides us. And all of these things I will discuss in part 4. And animals are also our friends. In fact, I personally have more animal friends than I have human friends. In fact, I meet more animal friends every day than I meet human friends. And they always lighten up your mood. They always give you unconditional love. Even if you meet them for 5 minutes, they have so much to offer to you. And they say goodbye in such a nice way. They greet you in the best way. The way the street dogs greet a person is just incredible. It's just incredible. With the same excitement, same enthusiasm, every single day, the same expression. It's like, and every day it differs also. The love never reduces. It always keeps increasing. So we'll discuss that in part 4. Till then, you guys enjoy your life. One love and peace out.